The final day at Taunton, and it's not only the players who pick up injuries. Umpire Martyn Saggers needed a little help from the Yorkshire medical staff. Well, the umpires do stand for a long time, you know. Andrew Gale led the team out, knowing that a draw was the most likely result, as a result of a flat pitch which had already produced over 1,000 runs. So, Somerset at the crease, and Craig Mester wasted no time going to his 50. A fine drive for 4 off Patterson was followed by a dab into the offside to bring up that half-century, which contained 7 4s and 2 6s. Craig Overton also found the boundary as the lead went past the 100 mark, but the partnership ceased when Patterson trapped Overton LBW for 15. Well in the match, you know, Patterson, but it was only his first wicket, but well done to Steve. Somerset bowled out for 553, a good effort, and a lead of 103 on the first innings. Now, Yorkshire's openers Lees and Live looked composed when they started their second innings and were soon providing some sparkling shots. Lees went big with a 6 down the ground, the first for Yorkshire in the match. Somerset introduced spin at both ends for a time and kept on changing the field round. Well, you've got to do this to try and get wickets. But the Yorkshire pair remained confident and picked off the runs. By lunch, the deficit had nearly been wiped off. Yorkshire 93 for no wicket from 27 overs, Live 45, and Leeds just 2 behind on 43. So to the first over after lunch, and the bowler Myberg's reaction suggested Leeds may have been dropped by Kieswetter. But soon afterwards Leeds perished as he edged Mester to Kieswetter, and this time the keeper held on. Leeds out for 47 with the score on 100. We then had a sedate period, but Live continued his fine early season form, going past 50 for the second time in the match. Marcus Trescothick, the experienced Somerset captain, kept on ringing the changes, and the occasional bowling of James Hildreth produced dividends as Live played a loose shot and was out for 54. Yorkshire then dug in to ensure there would be no major shocks, and at the same time there was a bonus for them with much needed batting practice for Andrew Gale, who's been out injured, and Kane Williamson, who's returned from a winter of Test activity with New Zealand, where he did very well. But just before tea, the left-handed Gale was out caught behind off Alvira Peterson for 11. Again an occasional bowler, he chased it a bit down the leg side. So at tea, 150 for the loss of 3 wickets. So lead of 47 and Williamson unbeaten on 31. Well, as we went into the last session, I think most people were predicting a draw, but at times Yorkshire lived nervously. Gary Balance came to the wicket needing 10 for 5,000 first-class runs, but he fell for 5 with the score on 163 to the spinner Myberg. But the final session was important for further practice in English conditions for the talented New Zealand international Kane Williamson, and he coped well, especially with the spin options used by the home side. He went to his half-century before his play was halted with a draw at 4:50 p.m. Yorkshire then were 193 for 4, that was a lead of 90 and 11 points from this first game. Well, afterwards I caught up with the Director of Professional Cricket, Martyn Moxon. What's your verdict on the first game which has ended in a draw?
Yeah, pretty solid performance I think overall. The pitch won in the end, I think, fair to say. So pretty pleased with our efforts. I think there's areas we can still improve on, but overall, first game, pretty happy with the 11 points given the surface that we played on.
And on this final day, it was making sure there was no banana skins, wasn't there? And you did that as well with players getting to decent amount of runs. Kane Williamson, for example, much needed practice for a top player, admittedly, 51 not out.
Yeah, good for Kane to get some time in the middle today. But you're right, I think it is a difficult situation when you're 100 behind. You've got to make sure you do the job, and the 2 lads at the top of the innings, Adam Lyth and Alex Lees, played fantastically well to get us to 100, and that kind of quelled any potential problems. I think obviously a few lads are disappointed with the dismissals today, which wouldn't normally happen. but overall, you know, we negotiated the tricky spell pretty comfortably.
And Live, of course, kept passing 50 in both innings.
Yeah, Live looks in good form, as does Alex Lees. You know, he'd be disappointed with his dismissals in both innings, but you know, they've forged a good partnership and, you know, look pretty solid at the top of the order, so that's very pleasing.
And once again, I mean, the side looks very compact as a unit. It doesn't look to have any weaknesses at all.
No, we'd like to think we've got all bases covered. You know, obviously Adil in the first innings getting 100, you know, batting at 6, and Andrew Hord contributing really well at 7 as well. You know, they were important runs for us in the context of the game. So, you know, we like to think we're a good squad, and hopefully we can show that over the rest of the season. You
face Northampton now at Headingley. I mean, to use a football term, it would be nice to make it Fortress Headingley during 2014, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. You know, we find it hard to win at Headingley sometimes, mainly due to the weather. I think, you know, we've had a lot of games in the last few years disrupted by the weather at Headingley, so hopefully we can get some good weather. And, you know, I think over 4 days you normally do get a result there, so, you know, it's up to us now to, you know, just improve on the little things that we need to improve on, and put in a really good solid performance against Northampton.
Martyn, as ever, thank you very much.